Hello everybody, ProtoFoxy coming back at you with another video, and we've got heading back into deck techs. And we're going back into my favorite format, the Pauper format, with something a little new, a little different, and I will explain. First off, you're going to notice different playmat this go around, no Pauper Guild stuff, but I will drop a link in the description below for you to get your sweet Pauper Guild swag, because we all love the Pauper Guild, do we not, folks? But anyway, today we are going to be taking a look at a homebrew of mine, something I was working on last year and then went by the wayside as I started putting together other decks and this and that. This is a Pauper Mutate deck. Now, Mutate was the big new mechanic in Ikoria, and did quite a bit in Standard, shows up in EDH, but I felt like there could have been a way to make Mutate happen, and Mutate happen efficiently in Pauper, and I think I got it. I got some help from some friends in the Pauper Guild, not going to lie, this isn't my own brew. I started with a brew, then other guys came through with different ideas. Unfortunately, guys, I hate to say it, I don't remember everybody who gave me feedback because it was so long ago, and I kind of put this to bed when other things started happening. But here we are. We have Pauper Mutate, so we're just going to go ahead and go into the deck here. We've got two Almighty Brushwags, single green for a 1/1 Brushwag. Has trample, you pay 3 generic and a green, and it gets +3/+3 till end of turn. Good Mutate target. Nice little turn 1 play. We've got 3 Llanowar Elves. We're just going to look at him. We know what he does. He's been around since Alpha. We know what he's here for. Can't say much about it. We've got 4 Slippery Bogles, and this is where I think the deck is going to work pretty well, because Bogles, in any format you play in, Pauper, Modern, what have you, is more a Voltron style deck, and you take your Bogle and just armor them up and go to town, hexproof. Hybrid Simic for a 1/1 hexproof beast. And this is where you just get crazy. You just start Voltroning them up and going to town. That's the same idea for Mutate. So that's where I'm going with that. And I feel like it'll work pretty well. So we got 4 Bogles. And this deck is going to be very creature heavy. I'm just going to say that now. We've got 4 Aberril Grazers. Single green for an 0/3 beast with reach. And when it enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tap. Just another great way to ramp. Was an all-star in Standard for a while for a lot of the Simic, Gruul, and X-Green decks. And again, I just feel like it's a good ramp card. Good defender, too, actually, when you think about it with reach. You know, because flyers, they aren't normally 3 toughness unless they're your finisher in the deck. So he's a good blocker, too. But, yeah, point of him is ramping. We've got 4 Essence Symbiotes. Single generic and a green for a 2/2 beast. Whenever a creature you control mutates, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature and you gain 2 life. Decent mutate target. Also, because you're just going to be trying to mutate all your other stuff to make them big beaters. It's just nice to have in a battlefield. Now we are going to go into, these are the mutate creatures of the deck. We've got 4 Vulpikeets. 3 generic and a white. Its mutate cost is 2 generic and a white. It is a 2/3 fox bird with flying, and then when it mutates, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Now, mutate is a very interesting mechanic. Similar to using enchantment auras, equipments, and whatnot, these can act as creatures on their own, or they act as, mutating. You either put it on the top or the bottom of the creature, and again, I'm going to sound very foolish, but I believe if it's the creature on the bottom, you have the stats of that creature with the abilities of the creature there. So let's say we put, if I recall right, we got our Slippery Bogle. Go ahead and mutate with Vulpikeet, put Vulpikeet on top. We now have a 2/3, actually we have a 3/4 hexproof flyer now. At least that's the way I understand it. And if it's the other way around, we now have a flying 1/1 or 2/2, whatever, But the interesting thing, and again, I could be wrong. I may be misremembering. But the interesting thing about Mutate is you can play a Mutate card for its Mutate cost, and if you don't have a legal target, the spell doesn't fizzle. So that means I go to mutate a creature, somebody nukes whatever creature I'm trying to mutate, that still resolves. So you still have a 2/3 flyer on the battlefield. Now, your mutate trigger didn't happen because you couldn't mutate it, but at least the way that's the way I understand it. But the whole thought process with this deck is very similar to your traditional Bogles deck, where you're going to be Voltroning up a Bogle with all kinds of cool stuff. So that's Vault Key. We've got 4 Migratory Great Horns, 3 generic and a green. Mutate cost is 2 generic and a green for a 3/4 beast. And when it mutates, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, shuffle your library. Just more great ramping. And then we've got 4 Dreamtail Herons, 4 generic and a blue. Mutate cost is 3 generic and a blue for a 3/4 flying elemental bird. When it mutates, draw a card. Nice draw on a nice body. So that's the creatures of the deck. And again, if I am incorrect on how Mutate works or I got anything wrong, go ahead and correct me in the comments below. It's still a very unexplored, at least in Pauper, mechanic. But I feel it's good enough to give us a Bogles type thing. Now onto the spell package. We've got 4 ran-throughs. Seen this card before in Pauper. Single generic and a green for an instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If that creature you control has trample, access damage is dealt to the controller instead. Great removal in green. We've got 3 Journey into Nowheres. Generic and a white for an enchantment. Enters the battlefield, exile target creature. When it leaves, you return exiled creature to its owner's control. Great removal in white. 2 Hyena Umbras, single white for an aura. Enchant creature gets +1/+1 in first strike, and then its totem armor. What totem armor is if the creature is destroyed, remove all the damage and destroy the aura. Just great Voltrani stuff. That's what we're trying to do here. Typical Bogle kind of stuff. Voltrani, that works. We've got a single Echoing Truth. And normally I don't discuss sideboards in these videos, but there is a second Echoing Truth in the sideboard. We know what this is here for. We know what it does. It's a single generic and a blue for an instant. Turn all target non-permanent or non-land permanents, or return target non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent to their owner's hands. We know what it's here for. Chatterstorm is a thing. Let's not even pretend it's not. Do I think it needs to be banned? Pauper is getting more and more competitive. I don't think so. Just like I don't think Affinity needs to be banned necessarily. We just need to start figuring out what works against it and start moving away. And this is going to be unpopular opinion. Go ahead and blast me in the comments below. I get it. It's fine. All competitive formats have to find ways to deal with each other, with all the separate decks. We have ways to deal with Chatterstorm. And that's just the way that is. That's how I feel about it. Do I feel like they need to be banned? Do I feel like they're problematic right now? Everybody's got new toys because of Modern Horizons 2. Everybody's going to play with those new toys. As soon as people start realizing that there is tech in this format, and again, sorry for the rant. If you disagree with me, you are welcome to do so and blast me in the comments. I get it. This is not a popular opinion at all. But I just so burnt out on bannings over the years, and I feel like we can combat the decks, and especially because Pauper is getting to be more and more competitive. That's what this is here for. Echoing Truth, deal with Chatterstorm. Also, real nice way to deal with Affinity. But, hey, that's my opinion. That's how I feel about it. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Whatever WotC's going to do, WotC's going to do. The fan base is bigger than one man, and I get that my opinion is unpopular, but I will try and combat the issue before I just scream for bannings to happen. That's just always been me. Do I feel like they're problematic? No, not necessarily. They are good decks. Affinity shocks me, and I'll get more into that when I talk about Affinity later on down the line in Pauper. But Chatterstorm is much like Cycling Storm is that, or any Storm deck in any format, you just you either win on the spot when you go off, or you whiff hard and just go down in a ball of flames. I'm gonna leave it at that. Again, don't agree with me? I welcome the feedback. Please, I get it. It's an unpopular opinion. Not anyone is going to agree with me, I'm sure. Maybe there's a couple out there. But tech to deal with those problematic decks. That is the spell package. And now we go into the mana base of Bant Mutate in Pauper. We've got 3 Thriving Heaths. We've got 4 Evolving Wilds, and I love the artwork for the Ikoria Evolving Wilds. We've got 3 Blossoming Sands. No, not a single, I'm an idiot. 2 Thornwood Falls. 2 Islands. 2 Plains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Forests. That is the mana base. And as we gather all this together, I once again apologize for the bit of a rant there. I'm just very passionate about the Pauper format. I love the Pauper format. I don't want to see things really nerfed before things take off. If it's necessary, yes, it needs to happen. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But as we are now getting to the point where LGSs are making things safer again to return to paper play, a lot of these decks that are very, very dominant in challenges on MTGO don't translate well into paper. Flickertron is one of them. I will make that case till the day I die. Paper and MTGO are 2 totally different things. That's my opinion. Disagree with me, go ahead and blast me in the comments. I'm good with it. I welcome it. Blah, 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 blah. This is, anyway, been the video and a bit of a rant about the Pauper format, but this is Bant Mutate. I have yet to test this deck. I intend on doing it the next time I hit the local game store, but it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. Some people have played around with some builds when I was already working on it. Seems like things work, seems like don't. Going to have its weaknesses. This, that, and the other thing, blah, 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 blah. But this was a project of mine. I wanted to get done. I wanted to see it through. I think it's going to do well because it's going to play a whole lot more like Bogles than it is going to be some kind of off-the-wall mutate deck. All that being said, I leave you all with this. First and foremost, check out the Pauper Guild. I will leave links in the descriptions below to where you can get your sweet, sweet Pauper Guild swag. I know this is not a Pauper Guild playmat. This is a playmat for the artwork of Phyrexian Unlife. This is a birthday present from my very best friend who I play Magic with quite often, and I actually have this artwork tattooed on me. That is why he got me this playmat. So, figured I'd show it off. Anywho, wash your hands. Wear your masks whether or not you're vaxxed to protect your fellow human beings. Be kind to your fellow human beings, and I will see you in the next video.